A while ago, I did a review on the video game Rugrats Search for Reptar. During that video, I mentioned how certain parts of the game didn't exactly have a kid-friendly vibe to it. It was only a quick rundown on it, but I thought I'll go into a more in-depth reason why these certain levels gave off an uneasy feel. And before I continue, I will point out that yes, other people have done similar stuff. I felt like doing this, and who knows, I might bring up something that many miss out on. But let's take a look. The first level I want to look at is the mysterious Mr. Friend. In the Pickle's basement, there was a toy making machine. During the cutscene, Tommy turns on the machine and it makes a robot toy called Mr. Friend. Despite what his name suggests, the toy is certainly no friend, and unfortunately for Tommy, somebody shut the door to the basement, leaving him all alone to fight off the crazed toy before it does something. While I won't put too much effort on the graphics as this was a PS1 game, Mr. Friend's design is off-putting. The creepy smile, the unnatural way he moves, and the sound effects makes him come across more of a kid-friendly version of Chucky. The doll, not the baby. And his voice just sounds uncanny compared to the other characters in the game.
Oh boy, a brand new friend to meet. You can call me Mr. Friend. You'll never ever be bored again.
The music featured is suspenseful, giving you a feeling of urgency that you need to beat this thing to get out, and unlike the other levels in the game, this is the only one that the camera is stuck in a position. For the rest of the game, the camera is always placed in a third-person perspective, showing everything in front of the character. But in this level, the camera is stuck in a certain position, making the area more claustrophobic than the rest of the game. Once you beat Mr. Friend, you then have to fight 3 more copies, making the situation more dire. The second level I want to look at is Toy Palace. Stu takes Tommy and Chucky to a toy store called Toy Palace. Deciding they want to stay there forever, Tommy tricks his dad and they both get stuck in the store after it closes. The level itself is split into 2 sections. The first part focuses on Chucky, while the second part focuses on Tommy. Both parts containing different types of nightmare fuel. Realising that he's lost Tommy and all alone, Chucky needs to go through the store to find him. Once again, the music plays a factor into the ambience, giving us an off-putting feeling that something is just not right, and it isn't. The second you go through each area, there will be an unexpected jump scare whenever you go near a toy, whether it be a robot spinning or a clown laughing. Once you reunite with Tommy, you encounter a toy gorilla named Ford. After running away, Tommy comes up with a plan to get a giant Reptar toy to save them. In order to do that, he has to find different Reptar boxes to reach a button to turn him on. Unlike the first section, Forg is the only obstacle to avoid. The only problem is, he's a giant gorilla that activates every time you go near him. You know he's near because of his footsteps get louder and louder each time. Another thing to point out is the level design. This is probably the most surreal looking level in the game, making everything feel like you're in a dream, or a nightmare in this case. The third level I want to look at is the infamous Let There Be Light. Why infamous? It's because it's the go-to level on why this game has nightmare fuel. The level starts with Tommy being put in bed until there's a blackout. Deciding that the light is stuck in the refrigerator, he sets off to find it. Armed with a flashlight, you must now travel through the dark house and shine a light at any shadow monster you encounter. The shadow monsters themselves have a standard scary design, but it's the way they move that's off-putting about them. Because they're a 2D design in a 3D setting, you never know what room they might pop out of. Plus the sound they make if you pass through them just sounds wrong. Doesn't help that there's usually 3 or 4 in a room. The music just has a way to make you feel uneasy, like you know you're in a bad place and you know there's danger about. But I think what makes this level the scariest is the setting. The whole level takes place in the Pickles house, which is usually the hub level where it's just Tommy running around the house in broad daylight with no enemies to fight and having cheerful music playing. But this time the light is gone, the music is horrifying, and there's monsters around every corner. It does fit into the uncanny valley. You're so used to seeing this place as safe and happy that seeing it in a more harmful environment can bring a feeling of dread and despair. If the safe place can be corrupted, then is anywhere truly safe? I'm thinking a bit way too deep into this, but it does show how impactful this game was for a lot of people. It's a shame none of the other Rugrats games had the same nightmare feel. True, Studio Tour was developed by the same people and serves as a semi-sequel, but it doesn't have that isolated setting. But we still have this one that will haunt our inner childhood nostalgia for years. And years. And years.